Hello, hello! Perfidious Pete here, back for what will be in all likelihood another thoroughly disappointing death for the Carter family in the vanishing of Ethan Carter. Yeah, I mean, I was disappointed a little bit by last episode, I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting something a little more dramatic because we missed our chance to get our eyes on a sweet axe murder. And instead, what did we get? We got what I feel was a pretty uninspiring scissor suicide instead from old Dale and Travis down here at the power facility. Sure, the suicide was gruesome and all. It had a really creepy kind of Deputy Dodd from the Dead Zone sort of feel to it, although Deputy Dodd, I think, did it with much more flair, smashing his own face forcibly on the scissors through his open mouth. Dale just stabbed himself in the neck, but still, it was okay. The problem is, it could have been iconic, man. It could have been Jack Nicholson hacking through the door in The Shining, going all, "Here's Travis." And let's face it, of those two scenes, you know, one of them gets remembered, and the other one, despite having Christopher Walken in it, gets overshadowed by a TV show of the same name that starred Anthony Michael Hall. Yeah, you dropped the ball on this one, Ethan Carter. You dropped the ball. Either way, though, I suppose we should get back to continuing our investigation into the vanishing of Ethan Carter. Paul Prospero, world's greatest supernatural detective and world's dumbest regular detective, still clearly hasn't stumbled onto enough ghost clues to put the pieces of this puzzle together and figure out that Ethan probably... Also, is it still 7:04? How come all the clocks are stopped at 7:04? That's what I want to know. But still, he probably hasn't put together all of the pieces to figure out that Ethan, in all likelihood, sacrificed himself to prevent the eldritch abominations that are lurking across the veil from invading our reality. Ethan woke him up and, you know, he threw himself on the grenade there to keep him from invading. Watching Paul Prospero try to puzzle this out, though, I gotta say, it's a little like watching a grown man sit at one of those tiny little kindergarten tables and then struggling to solve like a 6-piece puzzle designed for a toddler. You know, the ones with the really big pictures and the bright colors and the just really gigantic pieces. Plus, the other thing is, by my count, we're running out of Carters here, too. That's the other thing. How many more Carters could there possibly be to kill? I think everyone is dead except for Ethan and his grandfather. If I've completed the timeline quietly, we've sort of come back to the circuitous point where the only thing left... Move the lock, okay. And then open the door. But the only thing that's left, really, is, Grandpa. He's the only man that's left. We're out of Carters. Except for Grandpa and Ethan, everybody else has already kicked the old bucket. Shuffled off that mortal coil, as it were. There's only 2 people left, man. Whole family's dead. The whole clan's gone tits up. Not that they didn't deserve it, because by and large, they seem like a pretty despicable lot. But still, ain't a whole lot left. So let's go down this way, just make sure that we've explored everywhere. I do believe there was like a trail or something that went back up in this direction. And if we could go back to the top of the dam and across too, there was an area back there we didn't explore. But Prospero, man, how have you not put the pieces together? That's what I want to know. How have you not worked this one out already? Like, you should have come to the same conclusion that old Perfidious Pete did by now. I mean, I'm no detective, psychic, or otherwise. I'm not even a particularly smart man. But even I've already kind of got this one fleshed out. It'd be like, we know what happened. Ethan didn't vanish. He leapt on the grenade. Like a good soldier in World War II, when he saw his buddies, and by buddies I guess he means all the rest of humanity, but when he saw him in danger, he's like, you know what? The good of the many outweighs the needs of the few. And he went full Spock meta and leapt upon the grenade. He'd be like, you know what? What would Spock do? WWSD. What would Spock do? How come there's no what would Spock do bracelets? Probably because the answer to what would Spock do is the answer is always the same. He'd raise one eyebrow to a dramatic level and go, fascinating. And that's not really very useful advice, I guess. Like, what would Spock do? Well, he'd raise his eyebrows, say fascinating, and then get out a tricorder and probably scan something. Since tricorders don't exist and raising your eyebrow that far is really hard unless you're Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. What would Spock do? It's probably not useful from an advisory standpoint. Well, there doesn't really seem to be anything else for us to do down here. There's the elevator that goes back up to the top of the House of the Many Doors and the Church of the Many-Mouthed Mother of Monsters. We've already been there, though, and solved those mysteries. Is there... I mean, was there a way we could go over here that we did not explore? Was there something over here at, like, the powerhouse that we could have done and didn't? Is there another exit or a door? Oh, there's another door over here. Okay, we should probably go this way, then. Does this door go anywhere, though? Wait, no, we were out here. This doesn't go anywhere. This takes us over... Oh, we could probably... Okay, we can go across the foot of the dam. Alright, well, let's explore what's over here, make sure we didn't miss anything. I love to have me a bit of a ramble, and I love it when games are open world enough to sort of let me indulge in my proclivity for idle rambling. Both verbally with the verbal diarrhea that comes out of my mouth, and also, you know, like, just physically as I wander around their environment. And one thing you gotta give the Vanishing Ethan Carter, man. The game is beautiful. I mean, after 10 episodes in, periodically, I still feel compelled to just stop and sort of take it all in and be like, man, this is really pretty. I mean, look at this. This is gorgeous. They really did a good job on the valley. Looks really good. Everything. This may be some of the best graphics, just from an overall, like, terrain and environment standpoint. Some of the most stunning graphical work that I've seen in a video game to date. I mean, it really is gorgeous. Also, this really is a dead end, I think. There's nothing over here. Nope. So, see, they went to all this work and all this trouble and designed this space and let us, you know, the player, go wander around in it. And ultimately, there's not even anything over here. It's just like some busted-ass trees. Somebody just went into the office at Astronauts one day, the game development company that did Ethan Carter, and they're like, you know what? I'm going to build this little area over here. It's basically just going to be my homage to Bob Ross. I'm just going to, you know, little Bob Ross painting, throw it over here. Put in a couple happy little trees. Put in a happy little dam. Put in a little babbling brook. One big old tree right in the foreground where everybody in Twitch chat will say, ruined! And then, you know, later I'll go back in and add some highlights and it'll all come together and they'll be like, God damn, Bob, you really are a fucking master. Bob Ross deliberately ruined every single one of his paintings only so he could go back in and fix it later and astound you with his prowess. That shit was deliberate. Don't think Bob didn't know what he was doing. Okay, we can't walk. Don't invisible wall me, bro. That's really all I ask from a video game. Don't invisible wall me. And then, what do? They go and invisible wall me. Alright then, so I guess we gotta go back to the elevator because we've been everywhere there is to go down here and there is nothing to look at or nothing to do, nothing to interact with. And Paul Prospero sure as hell ain't gonna put 2 and 2 together on his own. He's gonna need a ghost to tell him, hey, Ethan killed himself. He did it to save all of reality. Maybe he got sucked into some horrid abomination dimension and like you can cross over the veil and try to save him so that we can leave this open-ended for potentially a sequel. That might also be the way this works out in the end, but Prospero hasn't put all that together yet. He's gonna need another ghostly finger pointing him in the right direction. He's not a smart man, Paul Prospero. Also, I'm looking forward to one of his grim, like gritty detective overall sort of film noir kind of narrations too. I looked out over the elevator, saw the mist clinging to the mountains like the stink of this town cleaning to myself. I just wanted to scrape it away. Hit a sauna maybe, get a shower, one of those bone-deep cleans. But Ethan and his vanishing still haunted me. The sauna would have to wait, and the dirt on my soul would stay forever. You know, something like that. So we should be back up by the booze hut. Where are we supposed to go then? If we were up by the booze hut, at this point, I think we've been everywhere. We went all the way down this path. It went up back to the mine, so we've been back there. There. I don't think there's anywhere else for us to go. We could go back across... Oh, you know what? If we go back across the dam, this path forked, and we never took the road less traveled. Let's go check out the Robert Frost meta, I guess. There is the road less traveled. We should go check it out. Maybe at the end, there'll be a Laura Elena song, and she'll tell us how, you know, we should put on our boots and go be a rebel. Even though that's definitely not what that Robert Frost poem is about. See, look at this tree. Look at this. Sunlight through the tree. It's just striking. Really good work with the shaders, too, because that light coming through in the shadow and the way they mix looks realistic. It's photorealistic, man. It's like walking around in a Raphael painting. Really, Pete? You think it's a lot like a Raphael? I don't know anything about classic art. I don't know shit about anything. I'm an idiot. I know Raphael was known for, like, the realistic works of his nature. That's the extent of my art knowledge when it comes to the old masters, so forgive me. What's over here? So there's a bridge that goes down over the spillway. This must be like an overflow outlet then. So does this go anywhere? Or is this just another really elaborate dead end? This is just another really elaborate dead end. I'm going to be a little salty. No, we can definitely just keep following. Oh, never mind. I was going to say we can just keep following the train tracks, but here's where the tracks end, so no more of that then. Well, I guess we can go have a bit of a ramble. There's got to be something over in this area that we didn't touch or didn't interact with or didn't poke or just flat out didn't find. And this area looks interesting. Man, the grass in this game is so good. It's such a small thing, and most video games get grass really wrong, that like the grass is sort of an afterthought, but Ethan Carter, man, this is lovingly detailed grass. They did a damn good job. It looks like real grass, man. It looks so good. It's the mossy carpet that covers everything, man. Grass is the foundation of your environment. If you don't have the grass right, you got nothing. Oh, here we go. We got like a little secret tunnel passage back. Nope. Just dead end into a rock fall. What if we missed then? Where are we supposed to be? What am I supposed to be doing? I do like the fact that Ethan Carter doesn't really give you a whole lot of hints as to what you're supposed to be doing. It's kind of just like a, wander around and sort of figure it out kind of thing. Now, we're back by the trains here. So we've been to this location and we've done everything in this area. The question we need to ask ourselves, I guess, is what about Grandpa? Because he's like, it's him and Ethan. They're the only two Carters that we have not seen die on camera. So it's got to be something to do with Grandpa, and if I was Grandpa, where would I be? I mean, Ethan's first story did feature Grandpa hiding his booze hut out in the woods amongst the booby traps to keep people from touching his hooch. Maybe we should go back to where it all started? Did we go all the way back to the beginning? No, I mean, this is Ethan's magic fortress, but we've already been here, right? Yeah, there's nothing new to be found here. Just, we're a Gaylord. That's Fangs. I mean, we already read all this. We've been to Ethan's tree fort. Clearly we're supposed to go back up, because there was nothing down, and that elevator wouldn't have been there if we weren't meant to take this shortcut. The game's too clever to have put that shortcut in if we weren't meant to take it. Maybe we're supposed to drive the train back to the beginning? Back to where it all started. What if we end the game the way we started it? We just go back through the tunnel. What if they've gone full circle route on us? What if they've gotten circuitous meta down? Be like, oh, we've done it. The story has come full circle. It's an Ouroboros. It ends the where it begins. It's the serpent that devours its own tail. It is also, this is the last place that we saw our grandfather as well. Up here, bludgeoning Travis's head in with a crowbar? Crank for the train? I don't even remember what it was. Some kind of blunt instrument that he bludgeoned his grandson with. Yep, Travis's dead body. It's still right there. All of the bludgeons. Oh, we can go. We don't really need to relive this actually. We're good.
Travis, close your eyes.
Yep, there it is right there. One whack, two whack. Grandpa, I think the third whack there was just felt a little unnecessary.
Stay away!
Ethan, I'm sick too. I can feel the sleeper in my head.
Then fight it. I have to destroy the room.
Corvus,
The room.
I'm sorry. Ethan,
Oh no.
I can't let you do that.
So Ethan wanted to destroy the room, but the room was in like the house of many doors, right? I mean, I'm assuming it was in the house of many doors. Do we want to take the train, or do we want to go check out the house of many? I mean, I just want to kind of drive the choo-choo. Turn on, though. Oh, right, we gotta crank it. We could make like Soulja Boy and spin that crank. Ooh, crank that. You know what? Yeah, crank it. Ooh, crank that Soulja Boy. Hey, ooh. Also, this crank is very definitely not properly aligned. I don't want to fire shots at you developers there, but something has gone wrong with the physics engine on the old crank there. Doesn't look too spot on. It's a little bit, it's got a real kind of Melissa Joan Hart sort of feel there, in that something ain't right. It's got a little bit cocked there. One of those things is not dead on. Can we drive the train all the way back to the beginning? Nope, there's a barricade up here. It's not gonna let us. Oh, okay. I was curious if we could crash through it, maybe. Like we crashed through the barricade down in the lower level of the mines, but also that is gonna be forbidden, I guess. Really seems like somebody should have salvaged this train. I mean, this is a pretty valuable piece of equipment here. Big diesel engine, lot of metal, if nothing else. A scrapyard to pay top dollar for this. It seems a crime to just leave it out here to rust and ruin. Somebody could be, you know, getting some utility out of this baby. Plus, listen to the throaty roar of this engine as it tears down the tracks in reverse. The unrivaled power this beast has at its disposal is really pretty impressive. And it can go up to 4 miles an hour. You just don't get those kind of speeds from your modern day equipment. Let's get out of here. We already solved this puzzle, so we don't really need to solve it again. You cannot jump this. Oh, we have to go down and around, right? So maybe we go back to the House of Mystery, the Vanishing mystery rooms? Because maybe Ethan went in the room and vanished. He said he had to find the room. Other than this, like, we've been everywhere. There's nowhere else for us to go and explore. If we go back to the House of Many Rooms, it should be the big house on the hill. Also, that's sort of the path where the narrative was leading us. They took us back. The shortcut didn't bring us back up here. The shortcut took us back over there by the houses across the dam. So that's almost certainly got to be where we're supposed to be at. Melissa Joan Hart meta aside, still a little cockeyed. Always firing shots at Melissa Joan Hart. Yeah, well, you think Sabrina could have fixed that. I mean, she was magic. She could have just corrected that strabismus. See, this clock is also set to 7:04. All the clocks have the same little scrawl of Roman numerals in that one lower right corner at about 5 o'clock, too. Curious, what's up with that? I mean, what's up with that? What's that supposed to mean? Why are you putting Roman numerals on your clock, not at the numbers? Did we miss something with this building? The door? Oh, just a transformer station. All right. Just a transformer station. It's the greatest station of all times. It's loaded with Michael Bay-isms and explosions and all the Mark Wahlberg a boy could ever want. Who doesn't want a transformer station of their own, man? You can get your very own Bumblebee today. Because, you know, Bumblebee, he needs his own movie. What's less interesting than a basic Michael Bay transformer? A Michael Bay transformer that doesn't even get the opportunity to talk in his own voice. He just speaks in radio dialogue. That's a character that can carry a movie, right? So we've been everywhere. Man, at Red Creek Valley, though. Freaking gorgeous. I honestly don't even mind that we're sort of wandering around here, simply because the environments are so well constructed and so absolutely stunning that wandering around a little bit here in the valley, it feels good. It's nice. Just a bit of a getting back to nature kind of mosey. And right now somebody's like, Pete, aren't you the person who has said that he actively dislikes being outside? I do, but this is all of the enjoyment of the outdoors without actually going in the outdoors. I can wander around here in the Red Creek Valley without having to worry about getting West Nile from getting bit by one of the bloodthirsty, ravenous mosquitoes infesting the area because of all the stagnant water that's lurking around. So he was looking for the room. So if we come back here, can we find the room? This is not, I'm pretty sure this is not their house that has the room in it. This is just the house that took us into the maze. This is the house where Grandpa hid the hooch, and thus invoked the Boneless One to protect his stash from the G-Man. But yeah, this dump is empty, so there's not anything going on in this. All right, so this place is over. So then the room is in the main house. Because that's the house we had to go into the house of many rooms to find and reconstruct, was this building. When we went to this building, though, and we went to where the room was in the reconstruction, the room wasn't there. Because we've been in this building, too. We were in here earlier. I suppose we didn't come down this way. Did we? I don't remember coming down here. No, we definitely didn't come down here, because I'd remember that ominous arch through the tunnel. All right, let's go this way. Check it out. This is a place we haven't been. We can go take a look around, see what's going on. What's in store for us down here? I mean, an ominous... Hey, a tunnel, though. We are sort of getting the Ouroboros thing, the serpent that eats its own tail. We are going back to where we began. We began...
Through too many portals.
Epsy, went through a portal.
Too many worlds simultaneously. Bits and pieces of me stay on the other side, waiting. Whenever I return, I bring parts of those worlds back. Do you know what ghosts are? They're sad, evicted things. Memories without homes.
Ah, yes, another deep and inspiring audio drop from Paul Prospero. But that's exactly what I was looking for earlier when I talked about that filthy mist clinging to my skin. Like the blood of a murder victim, it just would never wash off. I knew I would be carrying it with me wherever I went, no matter how many showers I took, or how much lye I scoured my false self with, like that scene from The Crying Game where that guy rubs himself with Bonamy until he's raw in a super hot shower. I'd never get it off of me. This is what we were looking for. We were looking for that audio drop, so clearly we are going the right way then. Paul Prospero was talking to us about stepping through portals. We're going to look for what I'm assuming then is Portal 3. Gabe Newell, are you here somewhere? Do you have the secrets, the development codes? Something? Is it part of Project Scorpion that you're working on or whatever? We can find out, but you know what? I kind of feel like we're going to have to find out next episode. I know absolutely nothing happened in this other than I said, man, I'm waiting for the audio drop, and then we got the audio drop. But there ain't a whole lot of Ethan Carter left, and I mean, we're like 25 minutes in here, and if we do find something interesting, I kind of want that to be completely encapsulated. So this is a bit of a wasted episode, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to deliberately waste your time, but it's sort of all that I do, really, is just deliberately waste your time. I mean, you should be, if you're still watching anything I've created at this point, you know I'm out here deliberately trying to waste your time. It's what I do. Taking away your life, using it to also destroy mine simultaneously. It's we're in kind of a murder-suicide pact here. I kill myself a little bit at a time making these videos. You kill yourself a little bit at a time watching them. It's beautiful. Every bit as lovely as a good murder-suicide. That could actually be another subtitle for the Perfidious Pete autobiography. Perfidious Pete, every bit as good as a murder-suicide. Yeah, I'm going to wrap things up. If you enjoyed the episode, feel free to drop a like down in the comment section. Support really does mean a lot. If you'd like to see more of The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, including what I'm going to guess is probably the conclusion, because like I said, everybody's dead. There's really nothing left to do. And if you want to find out what happened to the last of the remaining Carters, you might consider subscribing as well. New episodes of The Vanishing of Ethan Carter every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Right now, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you again soon.